The night is still young, no matter where you're. Everything you need is right at home. Hey everyone, my name is Jussoul and you're tuned in to Rolling Out.
Hey Rolling Out family, welcome to Star Studio. I'm your host Eddie Precise Lamar, and today we've got a special guest. Jussoul, formerly known as Dr. Soul. He's a soul/pop artist whose music blends Afrobeats, R&B, and powerful storytelling. From singing in the streets of Lagos at 14 to making the American Idol Top 40 to releasing his moving single Home, Jussoul's journey is about passion, reinvention, and impact. Let's get into it. How you doing, brother?
I feel blessed. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming on. You know, you started singing in the streets of Lagos at 14.
Yes.
What do you remember most about those early days?
I used to hawk on the streets of Lagos. I used to sell, there's something we call pure water. It's like sachet or water. You have bottled water here, but we have a sachet of water. So I used to hawk those, and I remember then I used to sell out all the time because I was singing my product. So on the streets of Lagos, I would go around singing what I'm carrying on my head, and I would always sell out because people are just so attracted to me singing the product as just, you know, hawking and walking around.
Right.
And my peers then would be so jealous. Of like, I wish I had your voice. I would also not shut up. That was a distinct moment that I remember from those early days. I used to sing in gas stations. I used to sing in buses and trains. So yeah.
What inspired you to transition from Dr. Soul to Jussoul, and how has that rebrand shaped your artistry?
The inspiration came from so many things, one of which is my manager. He ignited that fire that has always been within. At the time when we met, I was doing purely Afrobeats, but I did have some songs that I had written in that other genre of soul. I wasn't confident enough to put it out. You know, I was focused on another market entirely. Meeting him kind of just propelled that passion that I've always had for soul. So he played a huge role there, but I've always had this in me, and I just never really tapped into it fully.
Yes.
At the time, yeah.
Looking back, how did the American Idol influence your perspective on music and your performance?
American Idol taught me so much. It was my first exposure to the music industry. I remember the advice I got from my mentor at the time on American Idol, Lionel Richie. He took particular interest in me because of my background, because I was also in the medical field at the time and I wanted to transition into music. And he said, listen, follow your heart, you know? And I know it sounds simple, but at the time I was in a phase of really confusion. I didn't know what to do. I wanted to please my parents to do music, to do medicine, but I also had this burning passion of music that I've never really tapped into. So American Idol not only exposed me to that incredible idea from Lionel Richie, but also exposed me to this business side of music. You know, I met tons of amazing contestants who are now doing great things, you know, on the show. So not only did it push me at the time of confusion to, you know what, stick to your heart, follow your heart. I know you've been doing medicine for like 6 years. You know, I practically had 1 year to graduate, but I kind of left it and just went with my heart, and I'm very grateful I did.
So what did your Nigerian parents have to say about
Oh man, bro, my dad first of all said he's never gonna talk to me ever again if I don't finish up, if I don't become a doctor. And I said, Dad, so what if I kill somebody in the surgery room? Are you gonna take that fall for me? Or am I the one who's gonna be, you know, taking the fall for that? Like, Dad, let me just do what I really wanna do. But of course, you know, his position was he needs me to do something that is stable. Something, you know, they're always looking out for us.
Of course.
That's where their heart is. But music is not really something considered in an African home as a career until you really start raking in money. That's when they're like, you know what, okay, that's what they see as, you know, you've made it. But I assured him that this was what I really wanted to do. So over time, he saw that I was not backing down. You know, I sent my music all the time. He never responded until I sent him home. And that was when he said, okay. He came to my house. He came to my first show in Chicago this year for the first time ever. I've been singing all my life. he's never been interested in anything I have to do concerning music. But this year he showed up for my first show, came to my house, listened to my music video from home. He loved it. Things just took a turn.
Yeah. You know, I love the song Home. I understand why your dad would love that song because it's so moving. Can you talk about what inspired that song and why you think it resonates the way that it does?
So that song came from so many emotions and so many inspirations kind of inspired that song. But majorly it was written for my biological dad, who I never got the chance to meet. Since I was born, the story I was told is that he wasn't given a chance to meet me, you know, and that song was really about, hey dad, wherever you are in the world, everything you need is right at home. And for me, it is kind of like an invitation saying that, you know, I know we never got the chance to meet, but wherever you are in the world, I'm always gonna be here. You're always welcome. I grew up in a foster home. My foster dad, my foster mom raised me beautifully. I'm very grateful for them. But there's nothing like your own biological dad. Even though whenever I got a chance to meet, I would always feel a connection. And I hope that, you know, one day he hears this song and I get a chance to see him.
I appreciate you sharing that.
Absolutely.
And again, I understand why, you know, your foster dad will resonate so much with that song. It's so beautiful.
Thank you.
I love the ocean at the end. It just sounds so serene.
Thank you.
And I understand how you're blending these genres together and your approach to the music.
Yes.
With that said, my favorite song is Vitamin D
No way.
with Sally. Can you talk about, because that's more of a traditional quote unquote Afrobeats sound. Can you talk about the inspiration behind that and what it was like linking with Sally?
Sally is such a great artist from Nigeria. She has such an incredible story on how she came to the limelight, and I'm incredibly humbled to do that song with her. Vitamin D, as you know, I have an Afro background, so I would always infuse every chance I get that side of me to my artistry. So Vitamin D came about, you know, I wrote that song. You know, when I wrote that song, what was running through my head was dance, love, happy, Afro vibe, just to show that side of me that, hey, I may be pop, but I could also be a lot of things. But I was thinking, who would be a perfect fit to do this song with? You know, I had a plethora of female artists from Nigeria, so I kind of laid them down and I listened to everybody's album just to know who would fit for that song. And Sally was undeniably the most fit for that song. She had the wittiness, she had the sexy vocal, serene voice that I wanted on that song, and I couldn't be happier in the turnout. So it's definitely for my Nigerian folks, my Afro folks, you know, and my Caribbean folks as well, you know,
definitely.
for that song. So, yeah.
You know, I want to back up a little bit because you mentioned Lionel Richie earlier.
Yes.
Great, unbelievable songwriter of so many hits. How often were you able to speak to your mentors? Was there a lot of exchange off camera? And besides what you mentioned before, was there any other advice that he shared with you when it comes to songwriting?
We didn't have a lot of contact with our mentors, but we had twice, I believe, because, you know, it's a lot going on when you're shooting a show of that magnitude. But the little conversations that we had, he came with us when we were rehearsing in the rehearsal room, myself and my duet partner. Even on stage, after my performance on stage with the duet, he had incredible things to say. You know, he said, your voice is just different, you know, and it's elevating, it's powerful. And I took that home. The show itself is so busy, you know, and any little time you get, you have to maximize it. So that one time that we had, those are the advice that he gave me, and it's ever here. It's ever here. Yeah.
So who were some of your earliest influences, and how do they still inspire you today?
Oh my gosh, Celine Dion. Celine Dion is like my number one inspiration. I started listening to Celine Dion since I was 3, 4, 5. You know, I listened to a lot of high key artists, so artists that have wide range of vocals. So Mariah Carey, Bruno Mars, you know, they all still inspire me today. I still listen to Celine Dion until this day. I love her style of singing, her style of writing. Bruno Mars is a huge example of a live performer that I would want to emulate, and hey, it would be an honor to to do a song with him one day. But he's a huge inspiration in the way I perform. I love when his band, oh man, incredible. And that's what I yearn to be one day. Yeah, but when it comes to singing, Celine Dion, Whitney Houston, Adele, Sam Smith, Khalid, those are the vocal powerhouses that I listen to. And they've been inspiring me every day. I still listen to their work. I watch behind the scenes on YouTube on how they create. And I go crazy, just studying these artists who have done incredibly with their career. So,
listening to your music, it is very clear that storytelling is really at the crux of what you do. How important is storytelling in your songwriting?
It's the crux of what I do. I like to tell a story that is convincing, that is moving, and that has meaning. I intend to heal the world with my music. That's what I want to do. When I used to go by Dr. Soul, my motto used to be healing the world one semitone at a time. And I still strongly believe in that. I want to make music that would bring the world together. I want to make music that would unite. I want to make music that would heal, that would move, and storytelling is the best way to do that. You have to walk people through the song. I don't just want to make songs because I'm making songs and adding beats together. No, I want to do something meaningful and impactful.
Why is it important for you to heal?
It's important for me to heal because there's so much happening in the world right now, and there's so much chaos. There's so much dilly-dallying. There's so much unruly movements going on, and music is truly a universal language, and that's one of the ways to heal universally, because everybody understands it. And even if it's not in English, it could be in other languages, but it moves. It moves in ways that we cannot imagine, because God himself is music. So through that, he walks. Through that, he moves, and I've allowed him to create through me. And
yes, I totally agree with that. You've had some great accomplishments. We've talked about, American Idol.
Yes.
And however, you've also opened for artists like Two-Face and one of my favorites, Omale.
Yes, I love Omale.
What was that like? Talk about those experiences.
You know what's funny? When Omale came to Arizona, I was amongst the team of people that went to pick him up from the airport. So I had a cover song of one of his songs ready to go. I was like, once I see him at the airport, I'm just gonna give it to him. Say, Omale, please listen to this. Unknown to me that I wouldn't even get a chance to talk to him because, man, that man came out of the airport with 15 people. I said, oh yeah, it's okay. But I carried his bag to his room. He doesn't even know who I am, of course. But I was just so happy to be there because, man, his songs are also spiritual.
Yes.
And I hope that one day, I'll get to tell him this story when he can actually hear me. But it was an honor. I enjoyed opening for those guys. Those guys are heroes. Those guys they paved the Afrobeats way, and now they're where they are today because of the hard work that they put in. So I'm happy to put in the hard work now, so that I can make way for artists coming under me as well. So
your hard work is paying off. Your streaming numbers are going crazy.
Thank you.
You're having all these big looks.
Yes.
When we talk about that, we talk about the stats and everything.
Yes.
However, how do you define success beyond the stats?
Success to me is definitely beyond the numbers. It is impact. When every phone call I get and tells me, hey, I just listened to your song and it brought me to tears, that to me is success. Because I am making impact one person at a time, one ear at a time. The numbers will come naturally with it. No matter how many if I have a billion song and nobody is moved by it, nobody's changed by it, it's not worth it to me. I want something that is impactful, because when it's impactful, then no matter how many years down the line, the person would always remember that one song that impacted them. That's how I define that.
Yes.
And I would, no matter how, even if it's 10 people that gets moved, to me it's like 1,000 people.
Yes. Doing anything that's worth anything is going to have some difficulty.
Absolutely.
What has been one of your toughest challenges on this journey?
Change.
Talk about that.
Every single step that I've taken has been hard, but has been rewarding. Change from what I used to do, which was Afrobeats, to what I do now was hard, but I did it, and look at where it is today, right? From where I used to live, I moved from there to where I live now, and now I'm moving again from here to another whole different country. That is hard. But every time I make a big leap of change, it's always been rewarded. But that itself is difficult. Everything, I mean, there's so many things I can mention. Money, this, that, but like that just change itself, which is always gonna be constant, which I'm always grateful for. It's always gonna be, it's always gonna be difficult.
Well, the good thing about change, especially when you're working towards something that you're looking to accomplish, is that it's going to push you into a situation that is going to make it better, right?
Yes.
You know?
And I'm always happy for an opportunity for change.
Yes.
But it comes with its baggage. If you sit one place, I was telling Dex earlier, if you are comfortable, then you're not doing something right.
There it is.
You have to be uncomfortable.
So, what can fans expect from Jussoul in 2025 and beyond?
I have so much in the works. I'm working on an EP, I'm working on an album, I'm working on a tour that is gonna be dates coming soon, but all of those are cooking. I'm working on a new video as well for some of my songs, my own release songs. But yeah, I'm coming to a city near you someday, pretty close actually, so just stay tuned. There's so much more collaborations, merch. Yeah, it's just so much in the works that we're working behind the scenes, and I cannot wait for you guys to see them. I cannot wait.
So how can people find you?
On all platforms, Jussoul. So on TikTok, official Jussoul. On Instagram, Jussoul. Twitter, same thing. YouTube, same thing. Yeah, just look your boy up.
Definitely. So I'm going to switch it up real quick.
Yes.
So this is what I call the lightning round, right?
Okay.
So give me quick answers and whatever comes to mind.
Let's
first.
go.
So what's one word that best describes Jussoul?
Impact.
If your music was a color, what color would it be and why?
White, because it means peace.
What's the best piece of advice you ever received?
Don't stop.
If you could collaborate with any artist in the world right now, who would it be?
Bruno Mars.
Finish this sentence. Music is
Food to the soul.
What's a moment in your career that almost made you quit, and what pulled you back?
When I get to a certain period in my life and I don't see any traction, I was gonna give up. Dex walked into my life and that changed.
What's the craziest thing that ever happened to you on stage?
My pants ripped.
If you weren't making music, what would you be doing right now?
Just traveling. Traveling around the world.
Yeah, I bet your dad would have been like, oh, you should have said doctor.
Yeah, it was never gonna be that. Yes.
What's one misconception people have about you that you want to clear up?
People think that I'm making up the doctor stuff. I have a certificate to prove it.
There it is. Lastly, what's a lyric you've written that feels like it defines who you are?
Everything you need is right now.
Yo, people, Rolling Out family, make sure you tune in with Jussoul. This brother has something to share with the world, and I'm so thankful that you joined us today, brother.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure.
Yes, yes. Rolling Out family, again, tap in, tune in. This is your man, Precise. And as I always say, stay focused, positive, and productive. Peace.